Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Just Saints of Discord, your one and only pre-show to late night Saints, blah 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 blah. Every Friday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Episode 112.
We do things.
Yeah.
I'm trying out a new software that
mean-
may or may not reduce the background noise. If it does, awesome.
We give off the illusion that we do things, but we don't accomplish anything around here.
I didn't say we accomplished anything, I just said we do things.
Yeah.
Doing something
like-
and accomplishing something are very different.
And I'm saying that the fact that we do things in and of itself is the illusion.
Maybe.
Yeah, like I could quote Thrones and be like, I drink and I know things. Doesn't mean I know anything important.
You never know anything.
I know lots of things.
Depending on how many drinks I'm in, I might know how many I've had.
Yeah, we got no news for the Discord. Nothing new. Not that I know of, at least.
I did some things, but that's in a Discord. You're on a moderator, and so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, what do I care then?
Yeah. I do secret things and try to see if people figure it out.
Of course you do. I wouldn't trust Jables as far as I could throw him. If he's unchecked on a server, which is why my job is so goddamn entrenched in making sure he's not doing stupid shit.
Oh, come on, it's fun.
Oh, it is fun.
Trying to sow chaos.
Sow chaos all you want. I don't care.
Yeah, just on servers that you're not in charge of. I get
it. Exactly. If I'm not gonna get in trouble there, or it's not gonna affect my ability to do my work, I don't give a fuck. It's all good. Alright, so shall we pop into the news? What the hell just happened?
Yeah, since the Pentagon officially released the videos of UFOs that have been out for like 2 or 3 years now. And an event that happened in 2004. See, I know things. We're going to talk about something else more new.
Yeah, released literally today. Radio signals coming from inside the Milky Way detected by astronomers. A radio signal coming from a source within the Milky Way has been detected by astronomers. The signal is a fast radio burst, or FRB. Bright radio bursts that last milliseconds and appear to come from deep space. Because they are short-lived, they were often only identified in satellite data after the signal was recorded. Finding where they came from and what produced them has been largely a mystery. The first FRBs were discovered over a decade ago. Since then, scientists have been trying to work out what is causing them. Suggestions have included cataclysmic events such as the collision of two neutron stars or a collapsing black hole. But these hypotheses were questioned in a repeating FRB, or when a repeating FRB was uncovered. A black hole can only collapse once, because when the FRB repeated, scientists realized either there must be another explanation, or more than one source can produce these bursts. Over recent years, an international group of scientists have come together to solve the mystery of FRBs. The collaboration has led to discovery of more FRBs, with researchers using the findings to home in on more of their locations across the universe. For example, Earlier this year, one team was able to trace FRB or to trace on FRB to a odd V-shaped star forming region in a huge spiral galaxy half a billion light years away. Until now, however, none appeared to have come from our own galaxy. The latest discovered was announced in the Astronomer's Telegram by Paul Schultz of the University of Toronto, Canada. Wow, Canada has something to be proud of, I guess. On behalf of the CHIME, Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment, and FRB collaboration. In it, the team announced the detection of a bright radio burst coming from the active magnetar known as SGR 1935 plus 2154. This is a type of neutron star, the collapsed core of a massive star that is thought to have an extremely powerful magnetic field. The observation was made Tuesday. The discovery is preliminary, and researchers will need to analyze the burst to confirm their findings. However, if correct, they say this would be the first FRB ever detected coming from our own galaxy. Additional observations are strongly encouraged at all wavelengths, they wrote. The findings have been welcomed by other researchers studying FRBs. Jason W.T. Hessel, senior scientist at Astron, Netherlands Institute for Radio Astronomy, told Newsweek the discovery was a breakthrough for the field.
Skull, why would you think that I would say something to make you feel better?
Aliens are coming and we're receiving their music. It's going to be dope.
Yeah. Just hide your buttholes because they like to put sperm in there.
Contact was a weird fucking movie.
Just don't. Never mind. Fuck it. We now have direct evidence that a known galactic magnetar, whatever. I'm not drunk enough for this. Has produced.
Call it Magneto and move on.
Yes.
Yes, Magneto.
Has produced a radio burst that is getting close to as bright as some known extragalactic FRBs. FRB sources. Fuck, what the fuck is going on here? Hold on. He said in an email, it's basically guaranteed that some FRB sources must be, by analogy, bursting magnetars. But a key question remains. Are there any bursting magnetars, or are they all bursting magnetars, or do FRBs come from a variety of different origins? Hessel said it was also interesting that an X-ray burst was detected at the same, as it helps show, I'm assuming they meant at the same time, as it helps show how much energy was released by the burst. Whereas the radio burst was easily detectable, only a tiny amount of the released energy was carried by the radio burst. Most of that energy was released in other forms, including high-energy X-rays. He said, though radio burst is like the radio burst is like the steam whistle on a steam engine. It tells you that there's a steam engine, but it's energetically insignificant. Here we get both.
Your dyslexia is acting up.
What?
Your dyslexia is acting up.
Yeah, it is. It's. I need to drink more. I'll pour myself a glass after this article. Where was I? Fuck. It's like a steam whistle. It's like the steam whistle on a steam engine. It tells you that there's a steam engine, but it's energetically insignificant. Here we get both the radio burst and an X-ray burst to better understand what actually happened to the neutron star and its magnetosphere. Andrew Siemion, whatever the fuck that name is.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Director of Berkeley SETI Research Center and principal investigator of Breakthrough Listen, a project to search for extraterrestrial communication, who was also not involved in the burst detection, told Newsweek the results were very exciting. He said one of the important questions about FRBs is that it is what is producing them. He said if the result holds, it would be strong evidence that some FRBs arise from magnetars. However, the detailed link between magnetars and FRB occurrence would still pose some outstanding questions, he said in an email. Why do only certain magnetars produce FRBs? What gives rise to the repetition? I nearly thought that said reptilian. Repetition we see in certain FRB sources. Is there
Rimshee,
possibly?
what do you know?
I'm not. I have secret clearance. I'm not saying nothing.
At this point, it's like, yeah, I'm super excited that like we have like these like repeating things happening now because like I'll be honest, man, I was just getting ready to give up and hang myself. Why did I choose this career path? No one takes me seriously.
Anyway, is there possibly a second or third source of single pulse FRBs independent of the magnetar model? Answering these questions will require more observations, but knowing that sources like SGR 1935 plus 2134 can produce tremendously bright radio pulses provides a very helpful hint as to where we ought to be looking. And that's the end of the article. But I mean, that's kind of cool. They think that they found radio signals and stuff and things and stuff.
Yeah, aliens.
I'll
Aliens.
say whatever the fuck I want, Skull. You're not on the show. There's a reason why they don't pay me.
To be fair, we don't pay us either.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not that important.
Still all wrapped up in Twitch.
Yep. Since we hit fucking what is it, affiliate? I think it's affiliate. Since we hit affiliate, it's just been kind of like whatever. Although before we move on from this article, I do want to point something out.
I don't think you and I have looked at how much we've made on the channel yet. So
I don't think so. I'm gonna go ahead and check right now. But
do you watch this show? That's half my fucking shtick.
Total estimated revenue. Refresh page. Let's see. Oh. Apparently this is estimated revenue for the month. $15.
Rolling it.
Yeah.
You get a fucking taco party pack.
Fuck yeah. But before we move on from this page, I want to bring your attention to the lower right-hand corner, just below the opinions column. It says the debate, and I the only reason I bring your attention to this is because they are showing both the pro defund the WHO article and the anti defund the WHO article, and it's just versus. I like that they're showing both of those together, so you can get the the opposite sides of the view, so you can make your own decision. That is good. That is good. Yeah. I want to see more of that kind of shit.
I just want to clear one thing up in the chat real quick. I don't care what you prefer, Crab. Eddie's not here. And even if he was, he's my bitch. So deal with it.
Also, can we please stop referring to Sir as Sir? Sir's new name is
Senor.
Fuck
or if you
no,
want to be
my
fancy,
name is not fucking Scott. Fuck
it is
people.
now. Executive decision.
It doesn't have to be Scott. It can be Senor or Senorita.
How about Ian?
No.
Scooter. It's Scooter.
The scooter. It's the cooter scooter.
Scooter the streamer.
How about Hugh?
You motherfuckers will remember this. I'll make dang sure of it.
How about
Oh,
Lawrence? Yeah.
I'm not going to fight you. I don't have enough time to waste on you at this point.
Scooter is watching. Oh.
uh,
All right, let's come out of space a little, or at least get closer to the Earth, and let's talk about the Moon for a little bit.
All right.
You want to take this one, Jables? Or should
only if Scooter takes the next one.
Okay.
Cocksucker.
Go ahead, Jables.
A piece of moon once fell on Earth, and now you can buy the 13.5 kilogram rocket, 2 million pounds. And yes, Skull, this is the article that you sent. International auction house Christie's is set to offer one of the largest lunar meteorites in existence for private sale. It is the fifth largest piece of the moon, larger than any moon rock returned by the Apollo program. Christie's presents NWA. I thought I was going to say NWO for a second. NWA. Well, even NWA's okay. 2691.
Don't say
it. Lunar rock among the largest known in existence. Moon rock is among the rare substances on Earth. Probably because it's from another fucking thing. With less than 650 kilograms of lunar meteorites known to exist, this example is the fifth largest piece of the moon on Earth, larger than any returned by the Apollo program, valued in the region of 2 million pounds. The specimen is available for immediate purchase via Christie's private sales.
Technically, isn't the fuck? What's it called? Isn't the moon just part of the Earth, minus the iron?
That's
So
a hypothesis.
Technically, the moment anything lands from the moon lands on the Earth, it's no longer a moon rock.
That's not. That hasn't been entirely proven, but it's been proposed as a possibility for the moon.
It's a theory, yeah. A Mars-like planet impacted the Earth, and the what was expelled from the dual planet collision formed into the moon. The harder, denser materials that make up the Earth's core basically fell back down to the Earth, whereas the lighter materials stayed up in orbit and became the moon. That's the theory, at least.
Yeah.
It's
one of the proposed theories.
Based on physics models, it seems quite possible.
Yeah. Lunar meteorites arrived on Earth after having been blasted off the lunar surface by the collision with an asteroid or comet. All of the moon's large craters were created by such impacts. This particular meteorite was part of a large meteorite shower straddling the Western Saharan, Algerian, and Mauritanian borders. Responsible for nearly half of all known lunar meteorites. Approximately 30 different meteorites were collected, analyzed, classified, and assigned different NWA numbers. In the belief that they might be from different events.
So what? So what? Are these moon N-words instead of moon rocks?
The way I'm thinking about this now is oh, they come from impacts that happen on the moon. It's so is the moon getting hit by comets like a personal visit and we're the mirror?
I just want to know what colors the moon rocks are at.
The reality is we all live on the moon, and we all think we live on the Earth because it's a giant conspiracy.
Yeah, we all live in a crater on the moon.
The moon doesn't actually exist as we think of it. Really what we're looking at when we see the moon is the top of the dome or something.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's right, Dina. Bullying actually involves being threatening or relevant.
Other than that,
Anyway,
it's
what
just
were we
being.
talking about?
um, do, do, do. But it has been determined that they all originate from the same lunar impact event as the current offering. NWA 12691 was found in the Sahara Desert 2 years ago. Cool.
I wonder what the fuck it's made out of. Like, what's its actual chemical composition, I wonder?
James Hyslop, Christie's head of science and natural history, said, "I've been lucky enough to handle a few lunar meteorites at Christie's over the years. But every time I see this specimen in the warehouse, the sheer size of it bowls me over. Weighing over 13.5 kilograms, it is so much larger than anything else that has ever been offered before. The experience of holding a piece of another world in your hands is something you never forget." I don't know. I've been gay before. That's
I was gonna say, I think this dude's a little too interested.
Yeah.
James has never
The,
shoved
the
it up
next
his rear end, so you know.
Yeah. The next article, that dude is way too interested. You'll find out. Christie's is also offering for private sale a group of 13 aesthetic iron meteorites. Shaped by forces terrestrial and extraterrestrial, this group of natural sculptures forms an important collection of aesthetic iron meteorites in private hands. The collection, estimated in the region of 1.4 million pounds, is also available for immediate purchase via Christie's private sales.
You see, we can
Yep.
charge more for these because they're not like those unesthetic iron meteorites. These ones actually look nice.
Yep.
These ones look too good to be put into fire and forged. Or something. Don't look
I
at me
know where
like
you were
that.
going with that.
Yeah. Could you imagine having a knife from moon rock?
Yeah.
I want a lunar steel sword. It'd be cool.
Probably not enough to make a full sword, but you could maybe get away with a dagger. The most.
Short sword, maybe. It depends.
Somewhere
knows?
between a short sword is just somewhere between a dagger and a machete.
A machete is technically is a kind of short sword.
We're not
Yeah,
talking
I
about the
know.
moon rock, Skull.
See, Crab's got the right idea.
Skull, we have the next article is for you. This guy really likes to collect rocks.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and swap over to that. Are you ready, Scooter?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Coming to us from CBS News, Confessions of a Moon Rock Thief. Many a space travel buff is over the... Oh, fuck off. God damn it, I already hate this article. Many a space travel buff is over the moon. Kill yourself. Now that the shuttle Atlantis is up in orbit on its final mission. Wait, how old is this article? 2012?
Oh, yeah, but it's a story. It doesn't have to be breaking news. It's a story. It's the story that matters.
Yeah, we don't care
Strangely
about breaking
enough,
news. All the
We got
breaking
we
news
got
is about
great.
COVID.
Yeah, that and that like I mean we got great shit out of that fire extinguisher article. That was old.
it wasn't this old.
Trump wasn't
Anyway,
even in office yet.
strangely enough, the moon figures prominently in the real life crime story Our Morocco will be telling. What the whatever. Between 1969 and 1972, the Apollo space missions landed 12 men on the moon. And then there's Thad Roberts. What is it like to hold a moon rock in your hand? Rocca asked. It's inspirational. It's motivating. It's awe-inspiring, he said.
With a half chub.
Ugh.
Should have said something.
But Robert's contact with the moon landed him in prison, even though he never made it into space. His journey to a jail cell began in 2001 when he was accepted into NASA's elite co-op program for aspiring astronauts. Assigned to the Johnson Space Center in Houston, the 24-year-old Roberts had arrived. Okay, that's a weird sentence. I felt socially like, wow, I can't believe. I feel like what I thought the popular kids might feel like in high school, right? Robert said. Okay. Had you ever felt that socially comfortable? Rocca asked. No, he laughed. Definitely not. I was very, very shy growing up. Very quiet. I believe this, though not for the reasons that you're stating. His upbringing hadn't been easy. Disowned by his devoutly Mormon family for having premarital sex with his girlfriend. Oh, come on!
Shame on you, you anti-Christian.
You spoiled your magic underwear, you piece of shit. He was a student at the University of Utah searching for direction when he decided to shoot for the moon. Fucking puns. Robert said when he first got into the co-op program, he felt nervous at first. Here's the thing is. What the fuck? Here's the thing is.
This is how you know it's real.
This isn't a fake article, we know that much already.
I had worked so hard to get there on the... Yeah, why is it that all of our satire articles are better written and edited than this shit?
But it's litmus test. If an article is extremely well written and edited and everything like that, you know it's satire. It's
because they've taken the time to think it through.
Yeah, everybody in the chat that doesn't know, we like when I'm reading an article, I correct things as I'm reading. There are typos in every single article.
Every single.
Yeah.
Except for our satire articles, in which case it's the rare exception.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the real articles.
Yeah.
I just have a tendency to point out.
We had one that didn't have any typos, and I got really suspicious and had to Google it.
I mean, like, if it's just like a normal like mistake or typo, like I'll just correct it as I'm reading. But like some of these sentences are structured so strangely, it's just like, what?
So some sites are better than others, but like every article, dude.
So anyway, I had worked so hard to get there on the hope that I was going to get there. That's kind of redundant. And then when I got accepted, it's now. Oh, I got to keep this up. So it was kind of stressful to figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to outperform? How am I going to learn as much as possible and take advantage of all this without the kind of money that everyone else has? How the fuck am I going to manage to steal a moon rock so I can have sex with it? Married and financially struggling, Roberts made a name for himself at NASA as a risk taker and rule breaker, pulling off stunts like sneaking into the space shuttle simulator. So I come in and they're like, hey, we're on a shift change, so we'll have the next crew take care of you. Is that all right? He recalled. And then when they come in, they're like, okay, you're here for the run? And I'm like, sure, I'll go on the run. So you didn't feel that you were crossing a line there, Rocca asked. No, I felt like I was lucky timing-wise, he said. I
do like this.
I admire the honesty.
Yeah.
But it would take a lot more than luck for him to pull off the biggest heist in the history of NASA. Thad Roberts is the most complicated person I've ever written about, said author Ben Misrich. He's an incredibly complex character, and I've written about Mark Zuckerberg.
I would say how
Mark
complex can
Zuckerberg
Mark
really
Zuckerberg be?
that complex?
I would say how complex could Mark Zuckerberg be? But let's all be honest. The intricacies of the gears and the internal circuitry have to be astronomical.
Yeah, and the fact that they like when he was at the Senate doing that hearing, and they even had to bring in like an external charger for his seat. I was it's fucking nuts. I'm surprised they had one that could power a device that big.
I think that had more to do with the fact that he was able to lift up a glass of water and pretend to drink it. They forgot to activate his blink algorithm, though.
Mm.
Yeah, and the perspiration algorithm was going wild.
That's probably where the power draw was. It was too much perspiration algorithm.
Mm.
Fuck
Misrich
you,
has
Zuck.
penned about the MIT whiz kids who almost brought down the house in Vegas, and about Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. Thad Roberts was an even more irresistible subject. I've always been writing about these genius kids who live in that gray area between right and wrong, he said. There's a lot more wrong when it comes to Zuckerberg, but we'll move on.
What do you mean by
Dude,
whiz kid?
Thad's just living his best life. Don't worry about that.
What do you mean whiz kid? The reason he didn't graduate MIT is because he was never a student. He was a project.
Yeah.
And here's this kid who basically does 100-yard sprint through that gray area right into the black area. Don't be racist, Mark. And I don't know why. And I think that kind of blew me away. The race to the dark side started when Robert saw some moon rocks in the laboratory safe of NASA scientist Everett Gibson. Moon rocks he would eventually steal. NASA has 842 pounds of moon rocks, Apollo's total lunar haul. A small percent, including the samples that were in Dr. Gibson's safe, have been exposed to the Earth's atmosphere. Still, they'd be invaluable to any collector. So when he gets to NASA and he sees all these moon rocks in a safe that aren't being used, they're the most valuable thing on Earth, and NASA's just putting them in a corner, said Misrich. He feels that the right thing to do is to take these out of NASA and to take these moon rocks and use them. For what?
Well, they're getting there.
So, with the assistance of two younger female interns, Roberts on a rainy Saturday night snuck into Everett Gibson's lab. When he couldn't crack the 600-pound safe, he simply loaded it onto a dolly and wheeled it out.
Note to everybody,
Impressive,
down
actually.
your safe.
Even with a hand truck, 600 pounds is a lot of weight to fucking wheel out.
Mm-hmm.
Inside were samples from every lunar landing and a Martian meteorite, a total of just 101 grams, but valued by federal officials at $21 million. Why did you do it? Rocca asked. Robert sighed. I mean, the simple answer is to say that I did it for love. I did it because I wanted to be loved. I wanted someone to know that I'd literally cared about them that much, and to have the symbol there to remind them of it. Okay. One of his accomplices that night was 22-year-old Tiffany Fowler. Roberts, still married to a woman back in Utah, fell hard for Fowler and wanted to, yes, give her the moon. Oh, for fuck's sake. You're fucking around on your wife with an intern at NASA, and you steal fucking moon rock? My opinion of this guy just went down a bit.
Oh, come on. His name is Thad. What do you expect?
Is Thad like the douchier, lamer version of a Chad?
I don't know.
He's superior to a Chad.
But this is someone you'd only known for 3 weeks, Rocket said. Yeah, but I don't think that kind of connection that people really desire requires much time, Robert said. Doubt. Okay, but 3 weeks to do something this dramatic? Robert says he and Fowler planned on making a life together. Well, that didn't work out, now did it? In my own head, stealing something that wasn't the way I looked at it, he said. We weren't going to take this money. We were going to we were getting from it to go buy a yacht or lots of cars or a big house. Well, you wouldn't get all that much with $21 million, just saying. We were going to live just the small kind of lifestyle. But fun science that might change the world, you know. Jesus Christ, that's a terribly worded paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy who was cheating on his wife with an intern and decided to steal the moon for her after 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Truth is, Roberts attached his months before he'd even met Fowler. Oh, so he's a lying shit. In fact, a potential buyer for the moon rocks had already been identified. Axel Immerman, a Belgian mineral collector. Roberts offered over email to procure and sell him the moon rocks. So not only were you supposedly fucking around on your wife, but you were using the chick that you were fucking around on your wife with as cover for your plan to get rich off of moon rocks.
We're assuming that he actually was screwing around with her and not just flirting and leading her on.
True.
Trying to use her as an alibi or something.
Yeah, he's married.
Was...
You know what? At this point, I'm questioning whether or not his marriage was one of love or one of convenience, because this guy sounds fucking nutso.
I like him.
Immerman was suspicious and contacted the FBI. We spoke with him in Antwerp via Skype. I think a crime is a crime, no matter how you put it, Immerman said. If you're trying to defraud people, you're a criminal. We found that the emails were coming initially from the University of Utah and Nick Nance, one of the FBI's investigators, and then they started coming from Johnson Space Center, which lent credibility to the fact that these could be actual lunar samples that are going to be presented for sale. Wait for the article and go to the next page. On July 20th, 2002, the 33rd anniversary of the first moonwalk, Thad and Tiffany, after driving all night from Houston, arrived in Orlando, where they expected to sell their loot. And just an hour before the sale, alone in their hotel room, they celebrated their crime. So yeah, it was like they were fucking around. Well, I take some of the moon rock and I put them underneath the blanket in the bed, recalled Roberts. You have sex on the moon rock, Rocca asked. Yeah, I never said anything, but I'm sure she could feel it. Oh, man. She never said anything directly either, but it was more about the symbol of what we were doing. You know, basically having sex on the moon. I don't think that equates, man.
Technically, they're not wrong by the transitive property.
Yeah.
Thad Roberts, desperate, delusional, or just plain dumb? You decide. All kinds of questions come to mind, some more basic than others. Hey, is it uncomfortable to have sex on top of moon rocks, Rocca asked. Yeah, it's more uncomfortable than not, replied Roberts, but it wasn't about the comfort at that point. It was about the expression. And no one had ever had sex on the moon before. I think we can safely say that, Roberts said. Hey, you don't know what fucking Buzz and Neil's personal relationships were like.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to. That's all I have to say.
The FBI doesn't buy that Roberts did it all for love. My impression of Thad are that, you know, he was a very bright, motivated student. One of his goals was to be an astronaut, said Nance. And I think he had his foot in the door with NASA, was well on his way to reaching that goal. And then this one greedy event, you know, he threw his wife away in one fell swoop. The buyers in Orlando were FBI agents. Thad pled guilty and served 6 years. He never again saw the woman he says he stole the moon rocks for. He says he doesn't know how he ever could have pulled the heist off. I'm still trying to understand why you would do something so reckless, Rock asked. Me too. When you figure it out, let me know. He laughed. Because there's just no reason to do it, no reason to go through with it. Sure, parts of it are exciting, parts of it are a good story, but yeah, I mean, your whole life, the chance of being an astronaut, but Thad Roberts is not looking back. I know your imagination may be part of what got you into trouble in the first place, but in your wildest dreams, what did you see for yourself in the future, Rock asked. Wildest dream? Anything possible, he said. I think I'm going to still make a run for space. The private industry is still maybe going on. This might be the big thing of our lifetime, and if it is, I'm going to try and find a way to go. Maybe I can go pick up a moon rock legally this time, he added. One that I can keep. Yep, put it on my mantle, and now I have to keep it. I have to keep it a secret. Okay, he redeemed himself a bit towards the end.
Yeah. I like the dude.
He's fucking nuts. Like, what?
I love him.
What the fuck?
Him and I could be such good friends. I can see it.
It's just like, all said that, like, when asked about it, it's just like, his literal reasoning is just like, that seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, let's move on to something else now. I got this one. I'm lubed up a little. China threatens economic consequences
Chinese officials are threatening economic consequences
if Australia launches investigation of Beijing's handling of coronavirus.
Why is Australia investigating China?
I don't know,
Australia
but
was it and recognized.
Chinese officials are threatening economic consequences if Australia moves ahead with an investigation into Beijing's early handling of the coronavirus outbreak, Australian Sky News reported on Monday. Why the fuck would you be threatening economic consequences if they were like, okay, what actually happened here? Unless you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. That's why Australia is investigating, because Australians have fucking balls.
Balls.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Shit tries to kill us every day. You think I'm scared of the economy? I'll go kill a fucking crocodile and eat its body. Assuming it doesn't kill me first.
They have big balls.
Australians
have the biggest balls of them all.
Chinese ambassador to Australia, Cheng Jinye, said Beijing could encourage Chinese citizens to boycott Australian exports and products if Australia was to initiate the probe, the news outlet reported. Australian Foreign Ministry.
What does Australia export? Vegetable?
What do they export?
I don't fucking know what they export.
Yeah? Kangaroo skins?
Crocodile handbags?
They export those trees that will kill you if you get sap on you.
Fried spider legs?
Australian.
Granted, I could totally see like the traditional Chinese medicine market using stuff like kangaroo parts and like crocodile parts and other shit.
Kangaroo penis for your oh fuck, what's that called? Impotence
Erectile
issue.
dysfunction?
Impotence issues.
Okay. So I'm looking at Australians' major exports.
Kangaroo meat.
Yeah. It's actually they actually export a lot of really important shit like iron and coal and gold and copper and zinc and refined copper.
Oh, so the price is going to go down for the other countries in the world. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Iron's pretty fucking important.
Okay, so other countries will just buy it at basically the same price.
Or cheaper, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, go Australia and investigate. I love
Do
you guys.
it!
Go for it.
Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne called the Chinese threats economic coercion and repeated calls for an investigation into the early handling of the outbreak, which is thought to have originated in the Chinese city of Wuhan. Yeah, that's why it's called the Wuhan flu, which I will no longer be referring to it as COVID-19. Or the CCP flu, because fuck the Chinese Communist Party. The people are cool. I don't give a fuck if you're from China. It's if you're in the government.
Yeah, the Chinese government should just be morally condemned by the entire planet, but that's unfortunately not happening.
Yeah. Anyway, Australia has made a principled call for an independent review of the COVID-19, the Wuhan flu outbreak, an unprecedented global crisis with severe health, economic, and social impacts. She reportedly said, "We reject any suggestion that economic coercion is an appropriate response to a call for such an assessment, when what we need is global cooperation." The call by Australia to launch an independent investigation echoes criticisms by the US that Beijing mishandled the coronavirus outbreak from its beginning, which I agree with. The US has accused Chinese authorities of covering up the extent of the outbreak and alleged that Beijing failed to warn the world early enough about the coming pandemic. I agree with that. It didn't warn people early enough. It basically said it's not going to be a big deal, and I guarantee you that the Chinese death toll and infection rate is much higher than what they have been claiming.
Oh, not to mention they told the
Out of it.
organization it can't be passed from person to person, even though they knew the opposite.
Yeah, prime example. And
yet the World Health Organization is just like, stop being discriminatory against China. Didn't do nothing.
yeah, fuck who and fuck China.
How happy are you guys with how Taiwan's been treating this? China's been very good. No, but what do you think about how Taiwan? They've been doing a really good job. Like their infection rates are really low. China's been doing a great job. Disconnect. I don't know if you guys
We've
saw
done
that.
this joke before.
I know what joke. I know what you're talking about. I haven't actually seen it personally, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Taiwanese aren't people.
The Taiwanese aren't Taiwanese, according to China, because China doesn't give a fuck what you think. According to China, the U.S. is China.
You know, like, China is actually, like, in the past, like, banned video games that, like, depict Taiwan as its own nation.
All right, I'm gonna read this last paragraph. The U.S. has accused Chinese authorities. Oh wait, I did read that.
Good job, Rimshee.
Yeah, I told you I'm lubed up. Well, now let's read some Chinese propaganda. I want this one. 5 homemade guns seized along with military-grade night vision devices and ammunition in raids across Hong Kong. 11 locations.
Just so you know, I want the other Chinese one.
Go for it. 11 locations, including 2 shops in Mong Kok. Okay, I'm going to continue on. Were raided. And 3 war game and airgun enthusiasts were arrested. Police say guns are not capable of firing, but could be converted into lethal weapons after modification.
They're airsoft guns.
All right, let's read this horrible
They're
fucking
not
propaganda.
machined to the standards.
Let's go ahead and read this shit. Let's go ahead and read this shit. 5 homemade guns were seized, along with 3 military-grade night vision devices, a silencer, 26 empty cartridges, 3 magazines, and 6 pepper sprays, following the arrest of 3 Hong Kongers in a series of raids across the city, police said on Tuesday. The guns, consisting of 3 pistols and 2 assault rifles, which I guarantee you those aren't actually assault rifles, they're just the colloquial term. I'm not going to get into the difference, the detailed difference, but the
Yeah, we've had this debate in the past. So let's just move on.
easiest way to tell the difference between a rifle and an assault rifle is an assault rifle has select fire, so you can go single bullet or multi-bullet. Biggest difference.
That's the only
main
distinguishing difference, really.
Oh, yeah, that's really the only difference. But they're the detailed shit is fucking not worth it. That is the only difference between the two. 2 quote unquote assault rifles were made of gun parts that were suspected to have been airmailed into the city from the United States. USA. A police source said. He said more than 50 gun parts were needed to assemble a pistol. We believe the seized guns are not capable of firing, the source said, but they could be converted into lethal weapons after modification. The weapons have been sent to the Forensic Firearms Examination Bureau for testing. The source said there was no indication to suggest that the weapons would have been used to attack police officers. The 3 suspects are war game and airgun enthusiasts. We believe the weapons were for their own collection. In Hong Kong, the possession of firearms or ammunition without a permit carries a maximum penalty of 14 years in jail. The seizures were made on Monday when officers from the Organized Crime and Bureau raided 11 locations, including 2 airgun shops in Mong Kok, and arrested 3 men aged 23 to 63. Good job, guys.
You got him.
You got them. Those hardened criminals, you got them. You got them. They're just trying to participate.
I don't think I would see a story more embarrassing than the NYPD taking in all of fucking airsoft guns, but this is the
The eldest man, the owner of an airgun shop in Mong Kok.
Hold on real quick. Hey, Larry, 7-month streak.
Woo!
Awesome. Thanks, Larry. Oh, forgot to... Oh, someone had followed us. Ice Sharp. Thank you. But that was yesterday.
It is the thing.
Yeah, motherfucker! Alright, continuing on. The eldest man, the owner of the airgun shop, or of an airgun shop in Mong Kok, was picked up in his new territory's home. The 2 other suspects are an employee of another airgun shop and a delivery worker. Why the delivery worker? Anyway, as of Tuesday evening, the suspects were being held for questioning and none of them had been charged. Cool. Senior Superintendent Steve Lee Kwa of the Bureau said police were investigating the origins of the firearms and their intended use. He said importing and exporting military-grade night vision devices without a license was a breach of the Import and Export Strategic Commodities regulation that carries a maximum penalty of 2 years in prison. Meanwhile, in the U.S., we have the ability to access true color night vision. It's probably nowhere near as good, but, I mean, come on. Lee added, it seems that they are just guns made of parts. But the penalties could be as heavy as the real and common firearm and ammunition. It would be more serious if these firearms and ammunition were made into much more lethal weapons after modifications, so police will be very concerned about these. An investigation was going on and further assists were possible. Oh, by the way, this is South China South China Morning Post. So, like I said, propaganda.
Maybe-ish.
No,
by them saying they have no charges against them, I mean, you can't charge somebody that doesn't exist anymore, right?
Right. Well, actually, you know what? China might be able to. You never know what who they've charged with what, because there's no records of anyone existing. Following
Yeah.
several cases of, and there might be records of people existing after the fact. You never know. Following several cases of seizures of guns and ammunition since December last year, the force enhanced intelligence gathering and stepped up enforcement actions against crime related to firearms and ammunition. On March 26th, police uncovered a makeshift arms factory that was being used for producing homemade bullets and explosives near a hiking trail and arrested 4 men. Inside the factory, officers seized 800 empty cartridges, 200 bullet heads, so projectiles, suspected gunpowder, and a press machine along with chemicals.
Let's be fair. Gunpowder in China, not that uncommon.
Nope. It's called a firework, motherfucker. Between December and January, officers seized 4 handguns, an AR-15. I'm not going to read the next 2 words because that's not accurate. It's completely inaccurate based on much of what I can assume is the case. The only way it's an actual assault rifle is if it has that select fire. And about 1,000 rounds of ammunition in 4 cases. In March, police found 3 pistols, an HK and HK 2.4 million worth of drugs in Shamshui Po. So $309,650 US worth of drugs. Is that a lot, Jables? Is that a lot of drugs? Or is that like, oh, I got a dime bag of Coke?
How much was it?
$309,650 worth of drugs.
Depends on the drugs for one thing. Yeah, if it's Coke, that's like it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's like maybe a pallet's worth.
Yeah, if it's just pot, then that's like well, in Hong Kong it'd be more expensive, so I'm looking at like 100 pounds of pot if it's just pot.
All right, let's keep going. Following the seizures, the Customs Department planned to buy 3D scanners and bring the sniffer dog to tackle the smuggling of firearms, ammunition, and explosives. I feel sorry for these people that they live under a communist dictatorship. Oh yeah, it's Hong Kong. It's not communist dictatorship, but it's controlled by a communist dictatorship. So, you know, there's that.
The control is gradually moving out.
A lot faster than the agreements with Britain stated, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yep, that's what the protests were for.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a protest going on before this pandemic happened. Just saying.
I'm not gonna make the claim that it's related at all, but I'm not gonna make the claim that it's not.
I'm not making any claims. I'm just pointing out a fact.
Correlation does not mean causation, but I'm not gonna tell you how to interpret this.
Can we start an international campaign to start evacuating Hong Kong citizens?
The Hong Kong citizens are more American than some Americans these days. It's sad.
America. Let's make America our 51st state.
Really?
Off the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, let's offer Hong Kong stateship.
Like, I literally feel like the world should have an obligation to save these people from those fuckers that run the country we call China.
I don't agree with foreign intervention, and I think that there's more we could do about this.
Yeah, I totally like it. You guys can, as Feinstein would say, you can roll back the tapes. And Rimshee and I have been in support of Hong Kong since the start of the protests.
Speaking of which,
oh, let's do it.
Coming to us from the Tech Times, total ban. China wants to ban all online gaming and chat after Animal Crossing mishap. A Taiwanese website recently said that the Chinese...
Before you go into this, I just want to say one thing that will get this stream completely banned in China. Tiananmen Square. All right, there we go.
Also, fuck China, or the CCP. Fuck.
Xi Jinping looks like Winnie the Pooh.
And he's a massive piece of shit with a small dick.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead.
If you're late night gaming with Chinese people, just mention Tiananmen Square or Winnie the Pooh, and then the Chinese gamers will no longer be there.
Anyway, a Taiwanese website recently said that the Chinese government plans to draft a new protocol prohibiting all types of online gaming and chat groups in the country. The report states explicitly that the coverage of the gaming ban will be to exclusively disconnect all Chinese gamers from all foreign gamers outside the country. Is this true? According to a Taiwanese website called Taiwan News, the Chinese Communist Party will be planning to extend its censorship in all active online games available in the country. The site reveals that Chinese-based gamers will no longer be able to send messages or invites to any foreign countries once this new rule is implemented. Taiwan News said that the communist regime is said to have noticed an authority vacuum in online multiplayer games. Something we don't control! Fix it up! Which enables people to socialize without monitoring freely. Local metropolises are scrambling to draft laws to expand the scope of online censorship in video games and even prohibit gamers from meeting and chatting with people on the other side of the Great Firewall. Oh, man. That would be funny if it wasn't so fucking sad.
Yeah.
Well,
true. Now we have Xi Jinping and Winnie the Pooh right next to each other, and they do fucking look very similar.
I mean, like, seriously, any institution that bans something as wholesome and pure as Winnie the Pooh, you know they're pure fucking evil.
Yeah.
Pooh Bear didn't do anything to anybody.
Mickey, thanks.
Oh,
subscribe for her 7th month at tier 1.
Hey, thanks, Mickey.
Thanks. It was also noted in the same report that the government will strictly monitor even one-player online games. Other apps that feature zombies, plagues, map editing, or role-playing, or any gaming app that allows players to form groups are reportedly no longer allowed in China.
So all the fun ones?
So anything worth doing, anything that they're good at, they're no longer allowed to do. Hey, that means we won't have we won't have people screaming China #1 in PUBG because people still play that.
No, they're still allowed to play fighting games. So
I mean, hell,
Eden's got them beat on that.
Like PUBG might actually improve a bit now that the Chinese hackers are going to be banned.
Yeah, because they can't participate
by their own country.
Yeah, their country won't let them participate outside the country because guess what? You can talk through that.
Yeah, NordVPN specifically says on their website even works in China.
I mean, like,
it's like that phrase is on their website.
It's very clear that like the Chinese government has no understanding of how the internet works. And like they're flailing around trying to control it, and they're fighting a losing battle. Fortunately, I can just only hope that it translates to something positive down the line.
Yeah, them being the CCP being gone and replaced with a proper government that's not trying to kill their people in order to maintain power.
The Nintendo Switch game called Animal Crossing New Horizons became a hit around the world, including China since it first released on March 20th. However, things changed immediately. China has now banned access for the country to play the said game after a 23-year-old activist named Joshua Wong, you are a fucking hero, my dude, used New Horizons for protest against the Chinese government. He decorated his island with messages saying, "Free Hong Kong, revolution now."
Yeah. Good for you.
The Taiwan News claimed that the plan of a total ban on all online games might be a way for the Chinese government to hide information from their citizens or people outside the country. As the CCP's audacious global propaganda campaign to silence critics abroad and defend its infallibility fails to work out, the new law is expected to block Chinese people from learning how the world is reacting to Beijing's handling of the outbreak and subsequent cover-ups, written by Taiwan News. Online gaming curfew for minors. Interestingly, not all of the new online gaming policies were listed down as biased to the Chinese government. Another thing they want to implement is a curfew to all minors playing the games. They include an online gaming curfew, 10 p.m. to 8 a.m., for gamers aged under 18, and the maximum amount of money they are allowed to spend on games to combat internet addiction, said on the report. As of now, nothing is yet sure regarding this issue.
We don't want them to get information from anyone but us, so we must limit their time on the internet!
Yeah, I think this is one of those bad moves in the long run. Not that China is new to making bad moves.
Not that
Just
China knows how to make any other move.
It's like you're gonna take away your populace's one major form of escapism. That's not a good idea. For you, anyway.
Not a good idea.
I fully support that you do this so that you can have a bunch of pissed off gamers finally start the revolution in this fucking country.
Yeah, I would love for them to be screaming USA as they're doing it too, but that would just be for pure memes.
Yeah, people are like, what the fuck do you mean I can't play Minecraft anymore? Man, this shit, burn it all down.
Yeah, I miss. That's one thing I miss about the Hong Kong protests. It made me so proud to see how other people view this country.
Yeah, honestly, how other countries view the U.S. is something we should live up to at this point. Holy fuck!
Yeah,
how the Hong Kong protesters viewed the U.S. That is something we need to try to live up to.
I don't know if I've stated this before. I've always hated the whole "Make America Great Again" campaign that Trump's been pushing. It's America is still a great nation. Fuck making it great again. I want America to be the greatest nation on the planet again.
Yeah,
that should be our goal.
We are great. We need to be greater.
Be the country that Hong Kong thinks we are.
Yes,
that's what the slogan should be.
We used to be the best, and we can be again. We just need to put that fucking effort in, man.
And that's political talk that we're not going to get into on this show, but that is the extent of what we're going to say. We're not saying which way we're going, although if anyone here knows us, they probably know which way we lean.
Basically, final thoughts, Hong Kong, our thoughts are with you. Fuck the Chinese government. Moving on.
Yeah, basically. Oh.
No more Winnie the Pooh.
Alright, so we got a couple more articles to go.
I want to do the parrot. I don't want to do the fries.
We're skipping the fries.
Okay.
Go for the parrot.
Sale of defective parrot leads to BC law. Tribunal finds seller didn't misrepresent, but that the bird came with an implied warranty. There's legal precedent, and then there's Monty Python. The two overlap when a BC small claims court sided with a Salt Spring Island resident who sued another man for allegedly selling him a defective parrot. According to the Civil Resolution Tribunal decision, Michael Davey said he noticed the parrot, Tiberius, was missing a few tail feathers when he bought it, but was told the bird was only molting and had clipped wings, but was otherwise healthy. But to paraphrase one of the British comedy troupe's most beloved sketches, in which an irate customer confronts a shopkeeper who sold him a dead parrot, the plumage didn't enter into it. Tiberius should have had a life expectancy of up to 40 years. Davy soon learned he had a fatal disease and, in fact, faced the prospect of becoming an ex-parrot in just a fraction of that time. We find that there was an implied warranty in the parties' contract. Tiberius would be healthy for at least 6 months. Tribunal member Julie Gibson. Instead, Tiberius became very ill within weeks of the applicant's purchase. He thought this was due to molting. The namesake of a Roman emperor general, Tiberius, is an eclectus parrot, a popular bird whose males are known for their bright green feathers. Experts say the breed's pensive manner can to misapprehension that the electus is dim-witted. But according to the ruling, Davy noticed something more than just a little off with Tiberius in September 2019, weeks after bringing him home. And he wasn't just pining for the fjords. He noticed that Tiberius was missing some tail feathers, but thought it was due to Tiberius's diet, which has been seed only and would ideally include a lot of fruits and vegetables, Gibson wrote. A veterinarian diagnosed Tiberius with cytosine B and feather disease, PBFD, an extremely contagious and lethal virus that is usually contracted from a contaminated environment or directly from an infected bird. Even with medication, he had between weeks and several years to live. Implied warranty. Davy paid Akhtar Kidwai $2,100 for Tiberius. Kidwai told Tribunal and agreed. Oh, damn it. It's one of those articles. Kidwai told Tribunal he agreed Tiberius was missing some feathers at the time of sale in August 2019. He thought this was due to molting, Gibson wrote. Molting is a healthy parrot's natural shedding process during which parrots lose old feathers and grow new ones. Kidwai denied knowing that Tiberius was ill and insisted that his facility was clean and that none of his other birds were infected. Davy accused Kidwai of making fraudulent misrepresentation, but the dispute resolution tribunal member said the accusation failed to meet the burden of proof. A pre-purchase photograph of Tiberius sitting in a planter showed him looking healthy. Okay. Oh, hey, Canuck, yeah, this is about your fucking country. Selling defective parrots. That matched Davy's initial observations of the bird when he emailed to say the parrot was doing great and had settled in well. Shortly after bringing him to the island, which sits between the Lower Mainland and Vancouver Island. But Gibson did find that BC's Sale of Goods Act applied to the parrot's purchase. The law carries an implied warranty that a good will be durable for a reasonable period, having regard to the use to which it would normally be put and to all the surrounding circumstances. Given the life expectancy of the average eclectus parrot, Gibson and Davy had every right to expect Tiberius to be healthy for at least 6 months after buying the bird. She found that Davy had received some benefit from owning Tiberius, awarding him 75% of the purchase price as a refund. Gibson also ordered Kidwai to pay Davy's veterinary bills, bringing the total award to just under $1,900. The judge did not specify the current state of Tiberius' health. Reached by Facebook, Davy was unequivocal about the experience. I was still a parrot with a terminal illness, he said. Plain and simple. I'm sorry, man. You deserve a good parrot.
Dude, that's kind of fucking weird.
I thought this was going to be like Andrew Jackson's parrot, who just swore all the time. Fun fact: Andrew Jackson had a parrot, and at his funeral, they brought the parrot, and they had to remove the parrot from the funeral because it was just cussing way too much.
It says more about Andrew Jackson than it does the parrot.
Now let's go from weird to let's just cringe at this. This chick is fucking weird.
Oh man.
Mom drinks sperm
Who's reading
smoothies
this
to
one?
fight off the coronavirus. Tracy Kiss, 32, said she's not had a cold or flu for 3 years because of her concoction, which is made using donations from her boyfriend, and she takes 3 shots a week.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
Tracy, a personal trainer from Aylesbury, and if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I don't care, said, I found a free and vegan-friendly alternative method. Vegan-friendly?
It's still animal product. I'm not sure it's vegan friendly.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's not. Alternative
Of course
methods.
you don't see a problem with it, Pavros. Also, welcome to the chat.
Oh, hey, Pav. I haven't seen you in a while.
Okay.
She could, Y2. She absolutely could.
To boost the body's immune system. You don't always know what is in pharmaceutical medicine. It is much better for the body to drink something that doesn't contain chemicals. Technically, you're wrong.
Everything is chemicals, you stupid whore.
Yeah. It isn't much different to a mother breastfeeding her newborn to give them the nutrients they need. It isn't for everyone, but it's a pack full of vitamins, and I haven't had a cold or flu since drinking it in 2017. I also put it on my face to clear up my skin.
Real quick, Crab90 just gifted a tier 1 sub to Pav. Let's get some sad worries in the chat.
Yeah.
Nice. Appreciate that, Crab.
That's a terrible mistake.
The remedy.
What is she holding? What is that?
We're gonna find out. The remedy has not been verified by the World Health Organization, which we know is a bunch of crocs. The National Health Services and UK government advise people to stay at home to avoid getting the virus. Tracy continued, it is best to consume semen as close to production as possible to get the most nutrients and benefits. Why don't you just blow him and then swallow it right then and there? But I often store it in the freezer in an ice cube tray. As my partner, who does not wish to be named, and I are in a long-distance relationship. Oh, yeah, hon, I'm coming over. Yeah, sure, I'll splooge into an ice cube tray for you. Whatever floats your boat, dear. You're hot enough. I'm willing to put up with this bullshit. The quantity depends.
That's got to be the only explanation.
The quantity depends on how hydrated my boyfriend is on the day. I sometimes have a shot or disguise the taste in a smoothie with fresh berries and bananas. Okay, so that included fresh berries and bananas. I'm not sure that helps enough.
How did it end up turning brown? What did you do?
Blender.
It's green. I think you're colorblind. At best, it's like a hazel.
That smoothie looks like...
It looks horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I am strictly looking at this from a health perspective. I think a lot of people try new ways to boost their immune system when they start presenting symptoms. But that is too late. You must make immune system strong prior to an illness. to ensure you can fight it off. Hey, hon, I got a new method for boosting your immune system.
Rimshee, do you want to stay in your house tonight?
I'm don't ask questions.
He has a yard. He doesn't mind sleeping outside.
Tracy believes semen consumption will prevent. All I hear from the background is, "Oh no."
I wish
Tracy.
the noise cancellation wasn't on so I could hear her.
Well, she's way off in the background. Tracy believes semen consumption will prevent coronavirus as she leads an active, healthy lifestyle, and the supplement has helped her immune system. Now she's coughing and gagging.
Semen is not a supplement.
Good protein.
It's added protein. That's what it is.
Like a little bit of protein and like sodium, but that's about it.
Also got a lot of sugar.
She adds, the smoothies aren't any different to drinking honey and lemon water when you have a sore throat. It is.
Can you suck dick on a keto diet?
Yes.
There's a lot of sugar in cum.
Yeah, but it's natural, and it's mostly there if you're eating a lot of sugar.
All right.
It is just another natural remedy, but
Wait,
completely free. If you like, you don't like have to have a partner. You could just ask a male friend who's like literally healthy. Most people think I'm joking because like it seems too good to be true that I am being so open about a taboo subject, but I'm not. Like I am going against society's norm to educate and help other people who are missing out on nutrients. I want to make it.
People don't think you're joking because they think it's too good to be true. People are just hoping that you're joking because that sounds fucking stupid.
Like she finishes up. I want to make a difference, which is why I am sharing this home remedy.
The whole makes you healthy thing has been around for at least 10 years. At least on the internet.
Well, I mean,
like there's entire cookbooks devoted to this shit.
Yeah. Canuck, there you go. Here's the article.
That guy is probably sitting there going, well, she's hot enough and she lets me do stuff to her, so yeah, sure, I'll go and do my thing into some ice cube trays.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I know how I feel about this, but I don't know how to voice how I feel about this. This is something special. And that definitely has more than fresh berries and bananas in it.
That is the least appetizing smoothie I've seen in a while. It looks like blended catch.
Well, there's probably like some flaxseed in there instead.
Yeah, some flaxseed, some there's probably some kale or spinach or something like that because she's a health nut. And she's claiming it's vegan when it contains animal byproduct, considering humans are animals. Unless she, as a vegan, thinks that humans aren't animals. Have you finally followed us? God damn. Seed.
Shame on you. You
fool. Humans are mammals, and mammals are animals, so...
Yeah, I know you did that 10 minutes ago. That's what it says, Pav. But goddamn, you have been not following us for so long.
Yeah. We can't do everything in real time. You fuck.
Jeez.
I forget. Does Pop think Cigarette Girl was real or fake still?
I think he's come to the conclusion that she actually existed, but we're overplaying the cigarette girl story. Which, by the way, those of you who don't know, Miss Rimshee and I went to Seattle like 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. Year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. And while we were there, we met up with Jables and Pav, and Pav did not believe that Cigarette Girl was a real thing, and Cigarette Girl is a person who was selling cigarettes at this bar, and he was hitting on hardcore.
And she was accepting.
Yeah.
She was accepting.
Yep.
The recorded shows up on YouTube. The recorded stream still goes up on YouTube, Pav. It's just we don't stream on YouTube anymore because YouTube shit.
Yep. Fact.
Yeah, and also Puff. Yes, we still talk about this because none of our current audience knows who you are. So we got to give some backstory if we're going to make references to shit.
Pretty sure Kubiak and Canuck know who Pop is. App does.
Some of you know, but a lot of you don't.
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
Crab, you have that backwards, by the way. And you're not my type, so don't get your hopes up.
Anyways, everybody. No satire tonight. We'll just save it for next week.
Yeah, we gotta give way for. I think we're far enough in that I don't think that satire could beat this weird lady who loves. I'm not even gonna say it.
I mean, I'm sorry, yeah, she's pretty rocking in the body department, but she looks like a crazy bitch.
Oh yeah, no, she absolutely is. But she's rocking enough that I guarantee you that part of the reason the boyfriend's there is because I get to see that without clothes on.
Yeah.
I can put up with this crazy because I get to see that without clothes on.
So,
all right. Anyways, Scooter.
You son of a bitch.
We've been your Lesser Saints Discord. We're gonna raid now over to Late Night Saints. Go over there, have some fun. I'll probably be on that show at one point or another if you want to hear my dumbass. Yeah.
Yeah, just going further debate your
statements. I love you.
Take care, everyone. We are raiding in 3, 2, 1.
Late.